Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our weekly Empower call. And we are super excited this week. And I wanted to start on time because I'm conscious of everybody's time. It's 10 a.m. in the UK, not the normal call that we do, but this wonderful guest that I have with me today is in a part of a world that it wouldn't work if we did 6 p.m. UK time because she would be asleep. It would probably be the middle of the night. I'm going to let her talk about it. So meet Aileen Galera. She's a self-made freedom creator, and I absolutely love it. She was in corporate. She climbed the ladder. But she felt that the 9 to 5 was shrinking her. It wasn't giving her the sense of purpose, the sense of fulfillment. So she decided to build and make a change in her life. And that's what Aileen is here to share with us today. And it's about giving all of us those tools and techniques that if she can do it, if I can do it, if many of us can do it, then anybody can do it. So welcome, Aileen, on the call. First and foremost, let people know where you are. Usually she's in New York or somewhere in the US, but today she's not, because had she been in America, she'd be sleeping right now. And thank you to all of you who've joined. It's always a pleasure to have everybody. Yes, it's EmpowHer, but we know that we are inclusive, we are diverse, and all the men are special to us because you guys enable us to empower her as well. So I can see Andrew Walsh because your camera's on. So I'm going to say thank you for joining. And it's always a pleasure to have all of you on the call. So Aileen, over to you for a moment. I'm going to remove my spotlight, but don't worry, I'll be coming back and forth because I want to be asking you questions too. The stage is yours.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Shaz, this is so exciting. First of all, thank you for having me. And to everyone listening, wow, we have 184 and counting. Thank you. Thank you for being here on the call with us. And I'm actually joining you live from Guangzhou, China. And this place is pretty impressive, but I'll tell you more about it. But that's where I am right now.
And I think everybody's going to be really, really excited to know where you are because they want to know what you're doing there and how are you able to just get up and go. So we're going to start off with where Aileen was previous to her becoming this freedom creator and share with our audience, where life was in your professional stance and what did you have to do? How did you feel? Because many of us, and I always share this, that I used to watch when I was in the classroom. I used to watch why and how can people just go jogging in the park? Where and how are they able to live? Where are their finances coming from? And it used to be a puzzle. And that's what got me exploring and looking out. So that's what we want to know. That's what everybody wants to know. That's why they're all here.
Well, first of all, this place is pretty impressive. And what stands out here right away is how the city feels so alive. They keep the place so clean and organized, and there's always something happening. Scooters everywhere, so you gotta be really careful and look both ways. People are, shopping late at night, food everywhere. The energy is just onto another level. Now I just need to learn how to speak their language. But we've been here for 6 days, and the way it happened is just like, hey, you want to go to China? At first, I said, no, I don't want to go to China. And they're like, yeah, let's go. And we just packed and we got our visa, and here we are. So we've been here for 6 days, and we'll be here for a few more weeks. Then we'll be off to other countries, which still feels surreal to say out loud because, if you had met me at 10 years old, this is not the life that you would imagine for me. So, with everything that you mentioned, I want to give you 7 parts to my story, and it's going to be a good 30 minutes discussion here. And at the end, I will give you some of my favorite, very simple Eileen inspiration saying. And first of all, the first part is my foundation. I want to start by taking you back to where I lost my father when I was 10 years old. And not long after that, my mom had to make a difficult decision and leave us to go work abroad to support us. And my three sisters and I were separated, living with different relatives because no one could take all four of us together. So we moved a few times, growing up, and I had to learn independence very early. At that time, I didn't call it resilience. I just knew I had to figure things out. And so that leads me to my second part, which is the dream. So even in that season, I still dreamed. I dreamed about traveling the world, living in different countries, experiencing life beyond what I saw around me. And I didn't know how, but I knew that I didn't want to, to live a limited life. So fast forwards to my corporate life, which is the third part of my story, and the reality check. Like many people, I did everything right. I worked hard, stayed consistent, and followed the traditional path. So I spent over 10 years working in a corporate America, in a corporate environment. At the same time, I was going to school at nights and on weekends as a part-time college student, sacrificing time, energy, sleep. Because what? Because I wanted to have a better future. And eventually, I earned my bachelor's degree in business management. And like many people, I thought that this is it. This is where it gets better, and the reality check stepped in. So I stepped into a higher level position, but instead of freedom, I found more pressure, more responsibility, more stress, and more time away from the life that I actually wanted. And so that's what it hit me, is the more I made, the less life I had. So I made a decision. What most people don't understand, I stepped down and transferred closer to home. So choosing time over title, and this is where I hit my breakdown, the fourth part of my story. And a few years later, while still working at corporate America, I started exploring real estate sales and investing, because I'm always looking for ways to build something on my own, and I was very excited to finally doing it. But shortly after that, the real estate market crashed, so I lost my investments, everything that I had been working toward, all gone. I went into depression for a few days, but my breakthrough came through. And this is the fifth part, which is I snapped of it right away. And at that moment, I forced myself to make another big, scary decision. Either I go back to safety or go all in on myself and keep moving forward. So that's what I did. I walked away from my corporate America job and went full time into real estate. And along that journey, I was introduced to the world of network marketing in 2006. And at first, I didn't fully understand it, but I saw something different. I saw a vehicle that wasn't just about income, but about leverage, freedom, personal growth, leadership, mentorship. And I just loved being in rooms with people who thought bigger than me and so much more. And so I became obsessed with growth. I attended every event that I could. I was hungry for more, to learn more, and I learned the fastest way to grow is to stay coachable. And I looked for mentors, and I just kept doing the work. And so over time, I built teams in multiple countries because I continue to allow myself to be mentored. Now, mentor is so big in my career. I looked up for people that have the success that I wanted in my business, and willing to bridge the gaps. And with that, I was able to travel internationally to support team leaders and help them grow their business. And to me, that was very powerful because I wasn't just growing, I was helping others to grow as well and have a great time as well. But Dr. Shaz and everyone, it wasn't easy. I hustled, I faced rejection after rejection. Wait, who's been in there? Right?
Yeah, but
made
I want you
money.
to tell everybody at this point because you've used some really powerful words, and I can see some resonation in what you've said, that dreaming. Many people teach us, my culture, everybody said, don't dream too big, you're just going to, it's not, you're going to be disappointed, is what you get told, or that's not possible, or what if, and it's always a negative. So I want you to share, thinking about dreaming big, scary decisions, all the things that you wanted, like freedom and mentorship and growth and leverage. Was your environment like? Because many people on the call may be in a similar situation where they are wanting to dream big and they are wanting to achieve big, but we get surrounded by these whispers, no, 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 no. And I think it'd be really powerful for you to share with everybody in those situations, because making big decisions is not easy. And when they're scary, because you're kind of torn between the yes and the no, and the yes and the no, and the what if. So I'm sure everybody would really love to know how you overcame that bubble, if you like. What made you burst that bubble and say, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to face the consequences?
Well, first of all, speaking of dream, I've always heard that what people say that dream big because it's free, but you have to work. You have to work hard to make that happen. And it wasn't easy. Like I said, I faced lots of rejection, but I kept going because I've been always looking for have a better life. I wanted more to become more, and that what motivated me at first. And then I started making money. I spent more money, built teams, only to watch them leave. Income dropped from 30,000 in 1 month to almost zero. Started over again and again. And at one point, I was even buried in debt. But I kept going because I knew that if I could do it, I've done it before, I can do it again, but I can do it again stronger and smarter because this time, I learned so much. And what helped me to move on is the personal development, the mentorship, the leadership, the coaching. I stayed coachable. I followed the footsteps, the people that are doing very successful in the industry that I wanted to be successful. And I just stayed humble and learned all the way. And I'm still continue learning, which is, brings me to today because almost 2 years ago, May 31, 2023, everything shifted when my good friend for over 10 years, my personal mentor, Dr. KP, who's also on the call with us. I know it's like 2 a.m. where she is right now, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Dr. KP, for introducing me to an opportunity that would redefine my journey, which I'm always grateful for. But I'm not there yet. I'm not done yet. What I mean is that something I've learned over the years is that the moment that you think that you have arrived is the moment that you stop growing. So whether mindset, business, strategy, or leadership, I have to keep going and going through the process and continue to learn from people that I look up to, such as you, Dr. Shaz, and the other leaders in our
And I think
community
this is
and
a
outside
really
community.
important moment. Again, I like to be unconventional because we all know conventional ways don't get us. And I get the same questions like you that, with your background, why would you want to do network marketing? So I'd like you to shed some light on that, because I know that sometimes when I mention network marketing, then there are eyebrows that are raised. And there's this mindset that it's not a proper business. It's not a proper job, if you like, or it's an inappropriate, and I don't want to use the word because I don't like using negative words that begin with S, because they see it as a Ponzi or of that sort. So I think this is a really good opportunity, because I used to read The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. And why would you want to, and I have traditional businesses, and if I compare my traditional businesses, draw out my bills, my staff salaries and all of that, from an industry like this, you leverage a lot. So share your experience on that. I think people will benefit, and we're here to grow minds, expand thinking. So this is a really important, pertinent.
Well, why network marketing? For me, in the beginning, I had to go through the process and really understand why this network marketing world is so much. When you talk about the to people, they think, like you said, it's Ponzi. And what I learned is that I just need to make sure that they understand what they're talking about, and help them understand, like, what do you mean? Have you experienced it? A lot of times they have not experienced it. They just hear it from other people. And also a lot of times we don't know that we are all in the network marketing referral based business, because we always refer things that we liked to other people. It's the same thing, only we're not getting paid. And here, when you like what you're doing, you enjoy the products, you like the movie, you enjoy the restaurants, the food. I'm like, oh, you gotta go get to this restaurant, you gotta try their food. Oh, you gotta go watch this movie. I love this movie, but we're not getting paid. So now we have this vehicle. That's how I learned that. And also, it's because sometimes the people that are in it, they're not that are not trained properly. That when they're out there talking to other people, is not they're not doing it the right way. And sometimes that's affecting the rest of us that are doing it the right way. So we just need to make sure that we educate them, and we also continue to educate ourselves on how to properly share what we love, and not bugging and
But I
begging
love
and
that because when you say the right way, isn't that something that is done in every industry? Even in the corporate world, you're going to have people doing things the right way and some people not doing things the right way. So it's not limited to this particular industry. It's generally in life, we have people doing things in every setting. And I think it's the one space where you don't have overheads. You help people and it's rewarding because you're helping, you're not holding people back. When I talk about empower her, and I'm talking from real experience, I still have people who like to pull you down. Like, why are you climbing up? Let me pull you down. And the mindset should be that the universe, the whether whatever you believe in, there's enough resources for everybody to have a slice of the pie. It's not about, it's about the more we help. And I think that's so, so powerful. The more people you help, the better you become in your skill set, but you grow. And don't you think that's so, so amazing in itself?
yes, it is, because that also will help you build your credibility and integrity. And also, um, because you just have to. For me, being in this industry, I learned so much. I met a lot of great people. I built relationship all the way from 2006 to till now, that I'm still connected with them. I learned, and it helped me grow as well. And like, a lot of times, the people that don't support us, and or the people, most of the time, is the people that are very close to us. And that's only because they like us, they love us, but sometimes they don't trust us, because they have not seen us become successful. They like to watch until they see us successful, and they come and say, I always knew you could do it.
On this note, I would like you to share the mentoring and the importance of personal development and investing in, because I know we've had a conversation and you have attended so many of those events. And just I think it's important for people to understand the impact attending trainings that are going to help you grow as an individual and the impact they can have, because many people see it as a cost. Whereas I see it as an investment in myself with a far greater ROI, return on. So I'm going to ask you to share that because I know you've been and met some amazing trainers.
Yes, yes. Actually, I've attended. I'm always looking for an events to go to, and I've attended events like the big time network marketing events, like Eric Worre in Las Vegas, and we have Mr. Brown. Gosh, I forgot his first name. But Charles, what's the Brown's? Les Les Brown. And one time I was doing an event, and I only went there because I heard that he was going to be one of the guest speaker. Like, oh, I'm gonna go see Mr. Les Brown. And early morning, at 5 or maybe 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I got up very early morning just so I can be the first person in line to get the very first seat at the front. And I got there and I was the very first person in line. And I stood there until they opened the gate and I got me a very good seat at the very front, just soaking in and listening to Mr. Les Brown. And that's how I really, soak it in and learn about personal development because especially the mentorship, because, the truth is that mentorship, doesn't make the journey easy, but it makes the journey clearer and it makes it less stressful and it makes it more fun as well. And humility, you have to be willing to admit that I don't know everything, so I'm here to learn. And some people look at as a weakness, but I don't. I look at it as leverage. And with that leverage, that mentorship, that allows you to receive more great lessons because when you're closed, you're not going to be able to receive those lessons. So that mentorship allows me to grow, to transform, to lead, to serve, and to also mentor others at a higher level.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've heard so far is the story of dreaming big, having the power to make difficult decisions, investing in your personal development, and then the world is your oyster because your skill set improves, you become better at what you can do, people navigate to you. Do you believe in the saying, your vibe attracts your tribe? And you start having those individuals around you who inspire you. Tell us more about Eileen's, is it Eileen Inspire? The way, because I've seen it on your social media, you have a lot of following. Whatever you have built has enabled you to travel and be part of the life, live, because we're not going to wait until our retirement to live. And so some of the techniques, ladies and gentlemen, is look out for personal development. Look out for coaches and mentors who can help you grow and develop yourself as a human, as a professional, as a person who will help you change your mindset. And so share your inspiration. How do people navigate towards you now?
Well, this brings me to my full circle, which is, that still amazes me because last year, as most of you know, a few of us in our team, including Shabazare, Dr. KP, and Dr. Jet, along with our team members, we traveled in Europe. And I spent nearly 2 months traveling across Europe, visiting countries like
And
London,
I am a witness to
Barcelona,
that because we
Switzerland,
came to the Norwich office
Paris.
as well.
Yeah, yeah, we visited you as well in London.
Exactly.
We went to Paris and Rome, Santorini, Greece, Scotland, Greece, I should say, Greece and Scotland, and now I'm here in China. So, what drove me to what I'm, where I am right now is just not success, but freedom, like you mentioned, freedom creator, and I'm so proud to say the kind of freedom that allows me to be present and even take care of my mom every time we're together. And even if we're not together, just like a few days ago, she called me and asked me to help her order from the DoorDash for food. And I said, don't worry, I'll be happy to do it. So I did it. And she's all the way on the other side of the globe, and I'm here, and bringing that support and help just makes me realize something very powerful, even if I'm not there, that you don't have to wait for retirement to live the life that you want. And so, you have the freedom to grow, freedom to choose, and freedom to create your own path, and freedom to help other women to see that their starting point does not define their future. And with that Eileen inspiration, I've been actually using that Eileen inspiration since 2000 11 or 12, is that I have a few ones that I actually collected and I want to read them to you real quick. Is that the first one is that you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start, be willing to grow, and build one decision at a time. I did not escape the 9 to 5. I expanded beyond it. So stay coachable. That's very, very important. I still do stay coachable, at this time of my career, and I love it. And so you don't have
Before
to,
you go
you
to the
can take.
next, before you go on to your next quote, on that one, I want to hold it for everybody. I think many of us, and that's what makes the 1% different, is that we can't take the call. We don't make the decision to step away. Every successful person, and success, as Eileen says, is not necessarily resource or finance based. It's about living the life on your purpose. Has the ones that I see have done that, have made that difficult decision. They have parked the fear of the inevitable, because once you make a decision with you, that powerful decision of stepping down, because we like these titles and titles don't give us a lifestyle. I'd rather not have the title and live the life on my purpose. And then what happens? You step down, you break away, but then you have to tell yourself, well, I don't have a second option now. I can't sit on the fence, because what your job does is like, okay, it's ticking every month. You feel it's the comfort, but that comfort actually holds you back to break free and become who you can become. But once you get rid of those chains, as I call it, you then can fly, because then you know that you got nobody else to catch you. It's yourself. So you just put all the energy, all the time, all the work in. And yes, we work harder, but we work on our own terms and our own time. So that, I think, from your quote is so, so powerful, and a takeaway for everybody on the call today.
Yes, yes. And so if you stay coachable, you don't keep repeating the same mistakes or same cycles. I just keep staying hungry enough to grow, and you choose, like you said, choose your right mentor wisely, because who you listen to will help you shape who you become. And just stay committed to becoming more, because becoming more is always a choice. And at the end of the day, I went from surviving to expanding. And if I can do it, so can you. And that's what I want every woman listening to also remember that as well.
Thank you, Eileen. And totally, Eileen is an inspiration. And she talks about from surviving to expanding, but also excelling. And she has created a buzz wherever she is present, people navigate to you. And because you have shown that you can do it. And going back to the mentoring, mentorship is fundamental, coaching is fundamental to your growth. Coaching can be done by anybody. They don't need to be your industry expert, because coaching is through questions, not telling. If someone is telling you, you're not being coached. Mentorship is a subject matter expert who is from the same industry, because what you're doing is saving time. I think people don't realize, and this industry that you are in actually gives you free access to great mentors and great coaches. I see people investing significant amounts, and we do for our personal development, but here you're surrounded by them, and it gives you exponential growth. And that is so, so important, to be coachable, keep growing, keep expanding. So today, Wednesday, 6th of May, coming up to your 24, 24, third anniversary in your current
Yeah.
opportunity. And we are not here to emphasize, we're here, it doesn't matter what industry you go into, you can do it in any, it's about sticking, the grit, the resilience. What would you say has been the biggest inspiration or Eileen inspiration that you want to share with everybody, so that when they get off the call today, that they will, because rejections put people down. So I want you to end on the last, because we're coming to the last couple of minutes, where if someone's feeling rejection, what should they do? If they're getting the no's, what should they do? Because many people hear one no and they say, right, I can't do this. And I have read, and it's not just in this industry, it's in any other corporate sales as well. You're gonna get no's. You're not gonna be for everybody. But what about carrying on, and what those yeses will do for you?
Well, first of all, before you even start doing what you said you're gonna do, is that why are you doing it? What is the reason why you're here? What is your why? Because if you don't have those already, grained into putting into your brain, your heart, your why, anything that people can tell you will just like, oh, you know what, any excuses that comes up will, oh, my dog died, I can't go to the meeting, um she said no, now I can't do this. All those little things will break you down if you don't have that strong foundation, that strong why you want to be successful, why you want the freedom, why you want to live the life that you wanted. And if you have those very strong why, you'll just keep going even with those rejection, because those rejections and those no's will just make you stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger if you have that big why.
Fantastic. And I'm sure with your big why, you will have somebody close to you who is your alibi. So
Yes.
you don't have to share the names, but I'm sure you have some special people in your life who, when you do feel low, and we will all have moments that pull you back up and say, look, Eileen, you are much better than that. You can do it. You've done it in the past. You can do it again, because they're the type of people I associate around myself who, when we go into that slump, they pull us back up.
Yes, and I call it the cycle of life. So we always up, down. But the trick is that once when you're down, don't stay down too long. Okay, because if you stay down too long, it's harder for you to get up. So you gotta learn to get up right away and start moving, start doing things, because when you are in action, that will kill all those doubts, those sad moments, those confusion, and will just give you, start acting again with the right action and inspiration and motivation.
It's like the Mel Robbins of 5 second rule,
Yeah.
right? As
Yes.
soon as something negative comes into your
That
mind, you
right
go
away.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, and you're out of it. So it is. And adding on to what Eileen said, we have an unconscious mind and we have a conscious mind. And what often happens, and I know Doc is going to be putting her doctor hat on here, that we allow our conscious mind to talk us out of the right decision. And what we need to learn is the unconscious mind is our intuition, is our gut feeling. And we sometimes need to go into our soul purpose and listen to that, because if you're juggling, there's a reason. Your gut is telling you that this is for you, Eileen. You need to leave. You've got a bigger purpose in life. You've got a bigger reason to live. And your conscious mind is giving you the logic. But how are you going to survive? How are you going to pay the bills? And how are you going to do that? And then you juggle and make the wrong decision because you go into the safety net of your salary or whatever it may be. And we're not here, a disclaimer, everybody, we're not here to tell you now everybody's going to get off the call and quit their jobs and go do something crazy. What the purpose is to make you reflect on where you are today. And we did this powerful exercise on one of the trainings I went to where they said, get a grid and have about 88 squares on the grid. Mark off your retirement age. Mark off your current age. Mark off life expectancy, and then look at it and think, how many years have I just been thinking about what I wanted to do? And now I'm here, and how much time do I have left? And that is so powerful because it will make you make a decision. You don't want to get to the end and look back and think, I haven't done anything, or I haven't done as much as I had wanted to do. So it's really important to live now, because you're the youngest you're ever going to be right now. So thank you, Eileen. If there's anything else you'd like to share, because we're bang on time. I love it when we keep it to the sort of clock, because I think it keeps the momentum going, and everybody on the call will leave with this inspiration. For me, it's a morning and I'm already buzzing and I'm thinking, it's only 10:30. So a
Well,
final
just
message for everybody that they should take away from this session today.
so the final message is continue to becoming more, and because it's becoming more is always a choice. So be more, do more, become more. And again, thank you for having me. And it's truly an honor
No, thank you for
to
joining, because we
share.
knew that timing was going to be an issue. And I always say in little videos I put out that we do aim to keep it 6 p.m. UK time, but for inclusivity and sort of respecting everybody's country, we adjust the times, and it's been an amazing call. There's always going to be the recording. The recording will also be translated into Spanish and go onto a YouTube channel. So thank you, Eileen, for inspiring everybody with your journey. Thank you for sharing. I think travel is something that teaches you the most. If you have the opportunity to travel, you will grow phenomenal. The growth is going to be exponential because cultures, people from different cultures and countries give you so much more enrichment in yourself and your personality and what you do. And having the freedom to do that, you are an example of that for everybody, that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. So we thank you to everybody who joined. I love it. Synchronization 333, because I do believe in those numbers. And next week we will have another guest who will join us to share their Empower Her story. Once again, thank you everybody for joining, and have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. God bless you all.